of not just the doctors, but the general public at large as well, because they followed the lockdown rules, they've quarantined themselves when needed. But if we just talk about these 4 cases, and as Chetan was rightly pointing out, that this is also a huge concern now, that how do you now maintain this equilibrium of where you have the hotspots, as so to call, and ensure that the medical facilities are not in shortage there?
The way ahead was going to be again and I think the government seems to be on the right track as far as containment management is concerned. And if you remember, through your channel, you had brought out this very, very interesting concept of the 3T, which was what we need right now. That is testing, tracking, treating, or testing, treating, and tracking. So we need to test, we need to find out how many patients are positive, then we need to treat those patients who are positive. In our treatment, we have undergone a sea change as far as management of this virus is concerned. Initially, we were keen to rush them up to hospitals or to containment facilities, but now we want them to be treated at home. As far as facilities that are available for a person to be quarantined at home, we want only the serious cases to land up in hospital. As far as treatment in the hospital is concerned, we have learned so much in the last 5 months about management of these patients, and we have learned that their oxygen levels fall. We have learned that we should not be in a hurry to put them on a ventilator. We've also learned about the high-risk groups. In the high-risk groups, initially we had understood that diabetics, patients with hypertension, and patients with heart disease are vulnerable. But we've also now realized that the obese or the morbidly obese are the ones who really take the longest time to get off the ventilator. So these are high-risk groups who should not venture out of their homes. They should stay at home because they are likely to fall into a more serious pattern of illness. And finally, of course, tracking, contact tracking and tracing, and then testing the contacts.
Ridhima, I want to ask, I just want to ask Dr. Bhardwaj a question, if I may.
Please, go ahead.
Dr. Bhardwaj, good to connect with you on air. I mean, you've of course been one of the leading ENT specialists of this country. And the coronavirus, the first attack of coronavirus is in the regions, which you mastered yourself in the medical profession. But this, as I said, is also a time when a lot of other diseases come into play, the malarias, the dengue, and other, even the ordinary flu, for that matter. How do you distinguish between this? Do you think that's going to be a challenge also going forward?
Chetan, I've always admired you for your foresight. For so many years that I've known you and interacted with you, you always think much beyond what the normal person does. And this is a fact that nobody has yet factored in. I think the cyclone brought this up to our attention because we were dealing with another disaster in the face of a pre-existing disaster. But you're absolutely accurate in your assessment. Viral diseases are not going to go away. Diseases related to the monsoon, the onset of monsoon, are going to come back. And they will be there. And we need to be careful with that. This is not just one disease that affects humans. There are the other old devils that we are dealing with which will be coming back in their usual pattern and with a vengeance. And we need to be aware of those as well. And you are absolutely bang on in that assessment.
Right. And the concern out here, the concern out here, Ridhima, and the reason why I raised that question, apart from there being, an ability to distinguish, is because we are tackling a pandemic on a global front, Ridhima. And when you're tackling something on a global front, these numbers itself. India has already been praised across the world as to how they contain the coronavirus victims. Going forward, they may not have to get to know whether if we have deaths or we have victims, they actually do come from coronavirus or not. And that's why it becomes very important, for us to be able to highlight these matters, because we are right now, rendering credibility to the fact that our recovery rate is much higher. It may not be so. We have non-coronavirus cases also being taken as coronavirus.
Of course, very, very valid point being raised there, because now that the entire focus is on COVID-19, we also need to understand about